Hello and welcome to the More Cheese, Less Whiskers.com podcast. My name is Dean Jackson, and today this is a podcast that's happened fairly quickly. And I'll tell you why. A couple of weeks ago, I was in Toronto, and I was at an amazing event called the Archangels Summit. And the gentleman that puts off this event every year is Giovanni Marsico. And I have really gotten to spend a little time with Giovanni and gotten to know him. And the mission that they have is fantastic. And the vibe and the energy and the excitement around an event that he just put off. So listen, it's an event in the Sony Center in Toronto, which has capacity for 3,000 people. He had over 2,500 people in the room. The year before, he had 1,500, so he's almost doubled the event. But he has these amazing speakers. So this year, he had Simon Sinek, and he had Damon John and Dr. Shefali Tsabary. And last year he had Vaynerchuk and Seth Godin. And this year he had Akon do a performance, which had everybody on their feet. And I was watching this event thinking the energy of this is just so incredible. And he really puts on an amazing show. And what he's essentially doing is creating a community of people who are taking moonshots, who are building tribes and communities of people that are what he calls superheroes. And so I had a wonderful idea while I was at his event that I shared with him a couple of mornings later when we had breakfast, just to see if he was interested in the idea. And he was. And then we decided that we would come on, not talk about it then, that we would save it for this and explore the depth of the idea on this podcast. And I can't wait for you to hear it. So here we go. Giovanni Marsico.
Dean Jackson.
How are you?
I'm having an awesome day.
Well, that's great. I am too. I tell you, I've been looking forward to this since I was with you in Toronto a few weeks ago. It's been on my mind, percolating ever since.
Nice.
So I'm very excited about it. Now, this is a little bit different in that I know you, and normally when I have people on More Cheese, Less Whiskers, it's kind of the first time I'm hearing about it, so I get to have people tell me the backstory, and I'm going to have you do a little bit of that, but I'll kind of set the stage about what I already know, just to kind of bring people up to speed so that we can build on that. But I recently attended Giovanni's Archangels Summit in Toronto over just after Labor Day, second weekend in September. This is the second time that I've been to this event, and the guests are amazing. The production value, the orchestration, every single thing about this event was world class in the way that it is put off. I mean, the opening that you did this year for the event, the venue, the Sony Center in Toronto holds 3,000 people roughly. Is that the capacity?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, and it was people in the balcony, in the in the area. It's a beautiful world-class theater, and just the speakers this year, Simon Sinek and Damon John and Dr. Shefali Tsabary, and this last year with Seth Godin and Vaynerchuk, and it was nice to catch up with Gary last year. I hadn't seen him in a couple of years. I got to catch up with him in Toronto at your place last time. So the guests, the environment, the vibe, the energy, everything about it is just amazing. And then when we had lunch or breakfast the couple of days after, then I find out that you had a background in promoting, and that made club promoting, party promoting. That made a whole thing. So that's my side of the backstory. What I know so far, it's just been completely impressive. I've been fascinated by all of it. But I don't really know the backstory of the whole Archangel idea of how this all kind of came about and got to this point. Because how long have you been doing it? When did this start?
We launched the company in 2013. Our first event was in January of 2014 in Toronto. We had 120 people, and it was way smaller. And it came out of, I have to start at the beginning. So I used to work at Strategic Coach. This is like 15 years ago, and that's actually when I met Joe Polish back then, running the marketing for the company. I left there to do marketing, coaching, and consulting, which led me into real estate. So there's a lot of alignment between our stories there. And I did really well in real estate, but I wasn't happy and I wasn't fulfilled. But it afforded me the chance to start going to a lot of events and conferences and joining masterminds. And I joined Genius Network and Strategic Coach as a client, which was a big deal for me coming back as a client.
Right. Yeah.
And I loved everything I did, and I'm a huge fan of lifetime education, but I felt like I didn't fit in 100% to any of the groups, and I wanted to almost I scratched my own itch, and I created the tribe and the event that I would want to attend. And that it started off with a private annual mastermind type event in California, and that was in the summer of 2014. So we've done 4 of those now. And at the beginning of 2016, I made a big decision to quit real estate, which I was doing both at the same time, and put 100% of my energy into this Archangel project. And it allowed me to scale up in so many ways. And that year, we created the first summit event, September of 2016. We had, I think, 1,500 people at that one, 2,500 at the one that just happened 2 weeks ago. And we're looking to do 4,000 next year.
Right. And that, I mean, look at that trajectory from 100 and, what did you say the first year? 120. 120 the first year. And then, 3 events later, you're up to 2,500. That it's amazing. It's awesome. And part of that is that there's such an amazing affinity in that group. And so I know that that's an important part of it, that it's not just about the information or about the event itself, but the mission and the vision behind the why people are attracted to this. What's the overriding idea about Archangel?
We always say that Archangel is a tribe first. It's not an event, and it's definitely not a typical or traditional business conference.
Right.
We are a community of what I call superheroes. So mission-driven entrepreneurs who want to create big impact, make the world a better place. And our role is to facilitate connection and collaboration and community and curate people who all are aligned with their beliefs and their values, and they have giant hearts and want to actually serve humanity, but more importantly, serve each other and help support each other's missions. And it becomes like a giant love fest. So the energy of the event is way different than a typical event. Oh,
absolutely. And I mean, the addition of Akon this year was like, it just put it over the top, I mean, that really, you didn't have a musical act last year, did you? Or I don't remember.
We not in the same way. We open and close with a singer, but not someone who with a big platform like that.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, so right in the middle of the afternoon of this event, it's this big Akon party. It turned into your birthday party at the very end, which was something. Had Akon brought all these people up on stage to dance for your birthday. Fantastic. And you're right. Like just the energy, everything about it. Everybody is, just completely the same mind. I think that's really the great thing. Really, we throw that word tribe around, and it's become kind of a jargon and stuff. But I think that really, I get it. What you're saying there with this group, just always fantastic, and the fact that it continues to grow like that is really something. So
we always tell people, and this is the message that I would share. You have to put the mission and the movement first, and create something that's bigger than you.
Yeah,
and that's what people align to. They don't align to you. They align to that's why we always say tribe first.
Mm-hmm. I got it. And so all that backstory, that leads us up to, let's kind of now look forward and kind of work on a couple of ideas here, because I've had a couple of ideas since being at that event that might be the perfect fit for what you're doing. And I mentioned it briefly to you when we had breakfast. And the big idea that I had in being at your event and seeing it was that how amazing it was, the content of it, but that it was what I would call sort of I don't know what the right word is, neutral content or agnostic content. It wasn't like specific. It would work for, that could have been anybody's event, is what I was saying, thinking about it, right? That you could imagine people bringing or having groups around this event. And I thought it would be a really interesting thing for some of these people, I'm sure, are building communities themselves who are in the audience. That what an amazing opportunity if we gave somebody the chance to build their own event around the Archangel Summit event. That you do it on that first Saturday. That wouldn't it be amazing if somebody who had a community that could bring 100 people, or something that would be there'd be no way that they would be able to get somebody like Simon Sinek and like Damon John or Akon to come and go to their event, but they could promote this their summit at the same time and do a day after the summit that would be their specific event. And I thought,
I love that.
What an amazing thing, like to really, then it could become like a summit of summits,
Right. When you first...
I was just going to say, I didn't want to even go really deep into it, because I said to you when we had breakfast, I'm just going to share the general idea with you. I just want to see if you're even on board with something like that, and then let's not talk about it till we get here. But I'm anxious now to hear what you've been thinking. Yeah.
Well, when you first gave me the idea, I'm a huge fan of science fiction and comic books and story, and the imagery that came into my head. Do you remember the movie Avatar?
Yes.
Near the end, where I forgot the character's name, but he has to go to all the different tribes and ask for their help, and it becomes a gathering of tribes. Mm-hmm. And I thought that's kind of the imagery I see, where it's like the meta tribe or the gathering of tribes all coming together with a common purpose.
Yes. And I think I came up with a word. I know you have Archangel Academy and you have Archangel Summit, but the word that I thought maybe fit for this is Archangel Alliance.
Nice.
Do you see what I mean? Yeah, it's like that. Yeah. And it fits like that. The Galactic Alliance, or whatever, the Planetary Alliance. But this whole idea of that it's not an alliance gives people a chance to be an independent tribe and come and be aligned with this without the like Archangel Academy implies that you're sort of a student of or underneath that overriding thing. But alliance is something that you can be aligned with. I think there's just a subtle thing, but I think it could be words matter, and I think that they have energy, and that might be a good fit for something like that.
I love the word.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. So now we're getting somewhere. What really struck me was that when we were talking, I was complimenting you on the just the seamlessness and the extraordinary grace that the event just went off. Everything about it, from the way people were greeted and directed, and so many people. It takes a village to run a big event like that, and you had so many people that were right on it to just direct people, organize people, help people. From the check-in to getting people to the seats to the whole way you have the VIP area. Everything was just amazing. And you shared with me that that's one of your superpowers, organizing events like that. You love the logistics of things like that. I can't imagine. I can't imagine that somebody loves that,
I've been doing it since I was 16, and I think
right.
you slightly mentioned it, but when I was 16, I started producing dance parties for teenagers, and the first one we ever did, my best friend and I in high school rented a banquet hall. I don't even know how we got away with it at 16 years old, and we had 1,000 people show up.
Yeah, and more out.
Yeah, and then our biggest was 5,000 people in the venue, and it was a nightclub that we rented, and 2,000 people outside that couldn't get in because we were just way past capacity.
Right. And that's just, that's amazing. So that's in your DNA, organizing events like that. Now, I think that when you look at it, that among the people in the audience at probably both or maybe even all three of the big events that you've had so far, that there are people who would love to have an event like that, but the logistics of doing it would cripple them, that they would just get completely blocked and stopped by that.
Right.
And I think that there's, if there's a way, like you imagine, I went to the convention center website just to see the venues and stuff that they have there, and there's so many varieties of venues that it wouldn't be, it would be probably convenient to set up different size rooms for people who wanted to do an event around that event. Like if somebody could, if you start with a minimum of like 50 people kind of thing, or however it would work out, that they can bring their tribe to the summit but get to promote it as if it's their event with the speakers that you'll be able to align. That's people would feel so excited about being able to promote an event like that,
Right.
In addition to their own event, and it's like such a cool thing. I just I love that idea. Excuse me. Do you know Can you think of, just among the people who you know are in that room, any people that might be a something that they would embrace or love to do?
I know that there have been people in the past who have bought multiple tickets for that very purpose, where they do, they bring their clients essentially to the event on the Saturday, and then they'll have a follow-up mini mastermind kind of event on the Sunday to go through everything they've learned and how to execute it in their own business or in their own lives, and almost create a support structure for each other, an accountability group based on what they've learned. So it has happened on a small scale, but I think what you're saying is more of the 50 to 100 people tribes. Yeah. Where it becomes a mini event the day after, which I think is amazing. And there are definitely people in the group or who've attended in the past that could facilitate that.
Mm-hmm. If they knew that was a possibility, or even planted that seed, and if we could make it as easy to hold their own summit as it is to be a guest at your summit, that would really be the. I thought about that as the buzzword. We make it as easy to hold your own summit as it is to be a speaker at ours. That if everything. I mean, you know what I'm saying is that's the thing. If they could the thing that they could do is promote it and tell people about it and shout it from the mountaintops and get people excited about coming. If they knew that all of the details of it were handled, if all they had to do was get people into the room, committed to get into the room, and then show up and, turn on their mic, or not even that the mic's turned on, and they start talking on the second day, that the room's all organized, the AV is all done, all of the logistics and details of the actual event, and all they have to do is promote it and then show up and stand on the stage and host their group. That would be a dream come true for a lot of people, myself included.
I love it. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if you like that idea, then what would what would it take because then it becomes an opportunity for that event to grow in leaps rather than like incremental individuals, right? Becomes right. The promotion of it gets more and more. And, imagine that if that becomes the thing that I thought about it afterwards, there's not really any benchmarks for that aside from the only thing I could think of was Burning Man, really, as the closest kind of.
Right. With the camps.
Because Burning Man is just all the individual, at scale. I mean, there's probably lots of individuals that go, but primarily it's people are going as part of a camp, and then the camp continues to grow, right? And so you start to think about if you had an alliance of people who are planning and building an annual event around that second Saturday in October or September, that would get that momentum. And I think this could be a pretty amazing thing.
It also solves one of the potential hurdles that I've predicted we may face as we scale the size of the event, where what I don't want is for people to feel like they're just a number in the room. I want people to feel like they're connected to the group. And, in a room of 4,000 or 5,000 people, you may not feel that. But if you are a part of a mini tribe within the tribe and you have people to connect with, then that actually not only solves that problem, it creates even deeper value and more connection between the people who are there.
Yeah. And on a deep level, having it as part of an Archangel alliance allows that tribe leader to be the leader. in a way without feeling like they're, and this is all like, I'm talking, like deep down stuff that it would be, allow them to be sovereign in a way, right? That they're not like part of your tribe, or I don't know how to describe. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Totally.
Yeah.
It's still what they're doing is still distinct.
Yes, exactly. That it is, that it's distinct, and that the event is. I think, man, this is really. I think this could be something here.
What is the in your head right now? What is the offering, or what is the value proposition to someone who's a member of the alliance? What is the pitch?
Yeah, okay. So I think that part of it is, and I'll have to have you just explain the different ways that people are involved with you. I know you were talking about your Archangel Academy, and how your sort of what different groups you have, and sure. but what my thought is that it may come from within one of those people who are more deeply involved in your group, or it may be people who completely align with your mission, your principles. And I mean, the thing, I guess my interpretation of what you're really doing is you're building a group of like-minded people who are outwardly focused and taking moonshots that are going to have transformations for people, right? That help people ultimately. So what would be some of the characteristics of somebody that, or a group that would be aligned with what you're talking about, and who wouldn't it be for instance?
I feel that anyone who is a superhero that serves other superheroes would be perfect for this, where there's already the alignment of who their client base is. And I'll give you an example. Someone who is an expert in teaching people how to build a speaking career, or someone who is an expert in helping people publish a best-selling book, or someone who helps people with some kind of skill set that allows them to achieve their mission.
Okay.
And typically,
go ahead.
And typically, they'll build their own tribe based on what their superpower is. And
perfect. Okay.
It's in their best interest to connect their own tribe members together as a way of building accountability and support and community that way. So that I think it's already happening, but now we can offer them the chance to do something more.
Right. So now, is there any that jump out that you think would be a perfect fit for something like this? Like anybody that is within your group already that could potentially have that kind of opportunity.
Absolutely, 1,000,000%.
Okay.
There's like Angela,
anybody,
for example.
Anybody we can name? Yeah. Okay. There's a perfect one. She would be perfect. Absolutely right. Okay. So Angela Loria has the author incubator, and yes, she's got an amazing group. Right now. This was the first time that I got to meet her. I mean, we've been in the same circles and stuff, but then I met who was there from Author Incubator last year?
It was one of her. So Angela couldn't make it last year.
Right.
She had one of her team members come out and do a quick little thing.
Right. So I met them, and that was great. But then I got to spend some time with Angela this time. And so she's perfect. This would be the perfect kind of thing. that if you think about it, if Angela had an opportunity to build an event around the Archangels Summit, and do an event on that Sunday after, she would be the perfect kind of example of this. So and the reason I asked for somebody specific there is that it's always about when we start applying the 8 profit activators to this idea of, it starts with the during unit, right? It starts with what would be a dream come true for our specific client. So Angela can be the perfect, our perfect avatar for this, right? She'd be the perfect example. So, hello, Angela. I know you're going to listen to this now, so this will be great. We're going to talk about you, and on your behalf, we're going to create a dream come true for you. So what would be a dream come true for Angela if you could think about this, right? Like, it would be a dream come true for Angela to have, even if we just took this last event, to have Simon Sinek, to have Damon John, to have Akon come and, at her own event, and then to have the time to, have a summit or event or mastermind specific to what her group would be completely focused on, and have it go off seamlessly as her own event, right? Like, it almost doesn't have to, in this thing, it wouldn't be that she would be promoting Archangel Summit as something separate, but she would be promoting her event,
right? And
it's in alliance with the with Archangel Summit, so that all of the website, everything that she's promoting can have all the things that would be attractive to her tribe. And guess who else is going to be there? Simon Sinek and Damon John and Akon. And it'd be like, oh my God, I've got to come to this, right?
Totally. And it would be promoted as an author incubator event.
Author Incubator Summit, yes.
Right. Yeah.
With a little thing in association with the Archangel Alliance. That now it becomes it's almost like that the Archangel element of it is as in service and support of making Author Incubator shine.
Right.
Right. Which is, I think, that alone, I mean, that would be a dream come true, I think, for anybody building their own tribe and getting people excited around that and building it, I think, with that long-term view. Like we talked briefly, but I know that this is one of those things that you look at. The long-term impact of this is a fascinating thing. If you project out what could happen over the next 25 years.
I just had a crazy flashback and revelation. You're going to love this. The way when we were that event I did in the past with 7,000 people, I was at the time 19 years old, and the way we scaled to that size was by hiring. We had a crew of 100 promoters, and this is pre-internet. Like, this is 1996, like social media, pre-cell phone, all these things that make so it was all hardcore word of mouth. But what we did was we took these kids and we turned them into crews, and we named the groups. So it was like Supreme Promotions and the Outlaws, and each little group based on geography in the city had their own name and their own little territory. And we literally created a gathering of tribes. It's something I've done in the past. I just totally forgot and blanked that I did this. But it was how we were able to grow, because then they were, they had their own little.
They have complete pride of ownership of it, right?
Right, and they were the alliance. They felt that pride of saying, we are the leaders of our crew.
Yeah. Yes.
And it was just bringing all the crews together, and we facilitate the venues. And by the way, back then we also used to bring in the dance performer, like the Venga Boys and all these, like Akon type of thing. That's why I can do it, because I know how to do it.
Right.
And it was creating a co-created immersive experience with all these tribes.
I think that's amazing.
Like they used to even have their own jackets with they each had a logo. Like it was like they were all little tribes.
Yeah. I mean, imagine that's what I see, the sea of people with all their own tribe gear. Yeah.
I love it.
So logistically, for somebody like Angela, that it would also be a dream come true if she just knew that this is the event, and that she just needs to see how many people she's going to bring or end up having, and that the whole space would be configured and set up, and everything that she would need to put on the show would be organized for her.
Right, and we would do everything we normally do. So we can handle all the logistics in terms of production. Whatever she's doing the day after, we would have a camera crew filming the whole thing so that she can have video for it, and all the things that we just normally do anyways, we can just do for each of these tribes.
I think this could be amazing.
I agree. I love this.
I'm very excited about that. So that would be, when you think about this, there's enough time right now. It's still September. There's a year out. Do you think that would be something that we could pull off for next event, as for the move to the convention center? Have you already reserved all the space and stuff?
The main room, and we're working on some other like the breakout kind of rooms now. So it's perfect timing to figure this out.
Yeah, it seems like it would be, right? Like, I think that could be an amazing thing. And I think that initially, to do something like this, it might be a good idea to think through the people like Angela, to see who is already in the ecosystem here, to pilot project something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this is already, even as we're talking, this is already in the works in my head.
That's great. So already people are popping up in your mind who that would be a perfect thing for.
Yeah, if I didn't want to give 100% of my presence and attention to this call right now, I'd already be on my computer emailing my team saying, okay, let's get this
right. Well, to be fair, my mind is already thinking about how I can do one of these events myself too. So that's we got that going for us. It's fantastic. I can already see bringing my own event group coming to it too. So I'm in too.
What would that look like for you?
Well, this is, as I'm describing it for Angela, it's like that would be a dream come true, right? That there's, that you think about, and I guess then logistically you'd think, like, what would be the basic things? Like, you'd have to have, like a minimum unit of, say, of 25, and maybe if it was 25, 50, and 100 kind of people, but being also able to have accommodation that somebody could grow to 200 people, or more as you kind of look through, right, how this could go. But I don't know what the options are. I was looking, as I said, I went to the convention center site, and there are lots of different sizes of breakout rooms that could accommodate from 20 people to 1,000 people.
Right.
Yeah. So the configurations could be pretty amazing to make that happen. But then, all they would need is to decide how the room, whether it's going to be classroom or cocktail or open or whatever, and the AV stuff, like those would be micro logistics kind of thing. But the basic idea being that the room is set up with the right number of chairs, the stage is set with a screen and projector if somebody needs that, and the sound system. And I mean, you would need that with 50 people. You wouldn't need it with 25, potentially. You wouldn't need miking or whatever.
But you would if they want to record it.
Yes, exactly. Actually, yeah, you're right. So you want to have all those things available for people. I just think, man, this could be a home run.
It is.
Yeah. So, do you think, like, looking through, I guess then it just becomes of what would be the where does it draw the line? Where would it be worth it to do that? Would it be, I guess, because the smaller groups that you have right now, it would be very attractive to people. There would be a lot more people who could bring 25 people than would bring 50 people or 100 people initially,
Right, but it's almost something we have to experiment with to see what that would look like.
Absolutely, and it gives them what might work is to have that aspiration that somebody could start out in a 25 in a mastermind room and then grow to the 50-person room, grow to the 100-person room, grow to the 200-person room. That people can have that scale, have that ability to, over a few years, because that's really what would be the awesome thing, is to get people into this rhythm of an annual summit of their own, projecting out their growth of their tribe as well.
Right, exactly. And yeah. I mean, on our end, we'd have to determine how this all gets packaged.
Yes.
And even a pricing model, because there's always the hard cost of the venue and the AV and all these things. So we have to figure all that out. And is the person, is Angela pre-buying a giant package that includes all the tickets before she sells anything, right? So that's a question, right? Like, that's the thing that would be, that then becomes that becomes part of the idea that I would imagine that what a dream come true would be a single price per person for the ticket that includes the general admission for the main the Saturday, and the seat, the prorated portion of what it costs to be in the 25 or 50 or 100 person room. Right, and is that person paying Dean Jackson or paying Archangel, right? These are the kind of things that I'm assuming you
and those are logistics, right? So if you say, what would be a dream if we take the polls of this, if we take what would be a dream come true for you would be that people prepay and commit to 25 or 50 or 100 people in advance, and then they sell their own tickets and you put the show on that way, right? So there's no variation in your process. So if we take the other pole of that, what would be a great thing for Angela would be that that the tickets are sold maybe in conjunction with you. Did you set up you used Eventbrite for your ticketing?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So if there was a way for you to handle the logistics of the ticketing things, like if you take like what would be a complete dream come true if we're just supporting Angela here, that the event website with her all those guests plus her guests or her content there with the click here to buy, and that the ticket sales are handled there, and that Angela shows up at the event, does her stuff, and gets a check for whatever the difference was, right, between what the ticket sales were and what the cost was. That would be the ultimate dream come true, where she's not in any of the logistics and not at risk in any way financially. Now, that might not be logistically feasible on your side, right? Because then it's the same thing. It's the other way around. That would be the thing for you that would completely 100% protect your interests, is having her commit to 25 people and write a wholesale check for that package, which includes the 25 tickets plus the room plus the avian support and all that stuff. And then she can sell them on her own at a markup. That would be a dream come true for you, right? But it adds more logistics on her part. So somewhere in the middle, or as close as we can get to leaning towards Angela's dream come true, how could that work,
Right. There's a juicy solution in there somewhere.
There really is. That's absolutely it, right? That's the thing, because there's always that anxiety of, you want to have this thing of there's a little bit of anxiety around oh no, what if I don't sell enough tickets, or what if I, you know what I mean, that I'm going to lose my shirt, or I'm not going to pull this off, or I'm going to be out thousands of dollars, or whatever. There's always that anxiety sort of around doing an event like that, and to kind of be able to calm that or ease that without putting yourself in a bad position,
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. So it all has to start with what that would actually, if you look at it, what that would cost. I'm not sure how big Angela's tribe is, or what the group would be. Do you think, like, just what you know about her, do you think that she would have an event with 25 or 50 or 100? What would,
for her, it could be 100. She typically does events all the time for her authors, and that's happening multiple times a year. So she's specifically used to doing events where it would be easier for her to have a higher number, I believe.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then can you think of anybody that would fit for the 25 person event size?
I don't really have a specific example right now, but I know there must be a ton of them.
Yeah, I think even in that room there are some. Yeah, I think about that. There's something. Yeah, so many. I mean, I think about Kathleen Bacrossi, who, remember I mentioned, was sitting with your mom, that, she has a group of dental hygienists. She helps all the dental hygienists in the, and she loves to put on events like that too. But that might be something. Well, you just think about, when I think about now as I'm going through my mind of the people that I know that were in the room, that this might be a cool thing for. Really,
there's so many other. Yeah, and as long as someone has, anyone who has a coaching model where they're teaching, right? They can just use this.
Uh-huh. Yes, I think that could be an awesome thing. Yeah, somebody who would normally be having a gathering with their groups, and this just makes like this one time a year something very special,
Right.
And gives them the chance to get excited about, whoever who the speakers are going to be for next year,
I'm often asked, can you recommend a venue? I want to do an event with 25, 50 people. Where in Toronto can we do it? That question came up yesterday in my private group, right? It's a constant question. So I think there's huge potential, even just to give people space. And the co-branding of what we're doing, but the idea that you can have the space. And another question I'll have to ask is the duration, right? So is this a full day thing, a half day? What does that all look like? And that's another question we'll have to ask in the future. Or maybe
I think you're going to have to make them. You're going to have to make it that, because it's not going to be any discount on having it be a half a day on that Sunday. Like you're going to have to commit to that room, the breakout rooms for the day. I don't think you would get a better price for a half day, would you?
No.
On that level, no. So I mean, the thing is that you're going to have to kind of, I think, make it those standardized things that you get. This room can accommodate 25 people. This one can 50 people. This one for 100 people. And get the root cost for that of what that's going to be, and that way to allow somebody to promote an event that feels like, probably, if they could, what a sweet spot for somebody like promoting an event like that might be in the like $797 range or $997, but to allow them to early bird some whatever. If they could pull that off, that might be a dream come true. But you'll have to see, right? Like what if that's logistically feasible.
Right, after working out all the numbers.
Yeah, working out all the numbers and knowing that, trying to make that make that work for people. It's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting. I know. I mean, you can tell we're both like introverts. Our minds are like our sock puppets are talking right now, but our minds are already hatching the schemes for it. I think that's amazing. So what do you think now? Let's kind of put some legs to it here. What do you think? I want to hear what you've heard or how this has landed, kind of thing, or what's formulating.
So next steps for me would be to get my team to figure out numbers and what's available and what capacities are in spaces and all that kind of thing, and work out some super quick packages to figure out what the numbers would be for someone, and then approach the Angelas of the world and say, here's the idea we have. How could you use this? What would you want? What would make this a dream for you? Just to get that one-to-one feedback, and then create some super basic packages and use next year's event as an experiment case study for this. See how it works, and if it works as well as I think it will, then we can scale that up for 2019.
Yeah. And isn't it great to think, like, I mean, we're talking about this, like, to have, that's one of the things that I think comes with having a long-term vision that, I think that, and I haven't asked you this specifically, but I certainly get the sense that you're looking, that this has a 25-year life here of the whole, the movement of it. And when you have that kind of vista, when you have that long-term approach, it's like, it feels luxurious in a way that, we know that we can test and develop this idea this year as a thing with an eye to next year really rolling it out. So it's like planting a seed here that's going to fully harvest in 2, 3, 5 years. That's right. Kind of that's pretty exciting,
It is, and I this is almost an art form for me, where I get to have creative expression in different ways, and I love experimenting. To me, that's everything I do is experiment. So I love, and we have super long-term vision. I kind of live in the future. It's one of my superpowers. It also can be a curse, but we have a 3-year vision of getting to 10,000 people at the Air Canada Center. For the main event, and then I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but this specific event is a fundraiser, and in the past we've donated the funds to different charities, a lot to do with building schools, and now we're shifting to phase 2, which is offering grants and loans and microloans to our tribe, so entrepreneurs who want to create impact. And it started with we had a $50,000 moonshot pitch competition at this event, which was amazing. And based on attendee feedback, it was their favorite part of the whole event, outside of dancing with Akon, I think.
Right.
And, phase 3 is as we scale up the size of the event and have more proceeds coming in, part of that plan is to use that money towards angel investment. And that's kind of even where the company name comes from, to be, but to invest in superheroes, to invest in mission-driven entrepreneurs, like the sort of non-traditional sectors that aren't necessarily in the tech world where there's an easy exit and it's all about return. And to me, it's more about return on impact than return on investment.
Right. That's awesome. I mean, it's just there's so much depth to this. It's amazing, but it's rewarding. It's something you can really wrap your arms around,
Yes.
Yeah. Right at that level of testing your abilities, and keeping it exciting and knowing that it's going to have an amazing impact in the world. I'm excited.
Me too.
Well, so I can't wait. So I want to help you with this however I can, and we'll continue to talk offline. And I think this could be an amazing thing.
Thank you, and I appreciate, and I love the evil scheme, and I love what was the analogy you came up?
I should tell that's. just there's so much goodness in your heart that it kind of pained you that I wondering why I call things evil schemes. And, always said with irony from Austin Powers, from Dr. Evil. But so we came up with the acronym EVIL. And so I think we were at Exponential Valuable Ideas Lab or something. Something from, what I always laugh is, on Phineas and Ferb, that cartoon kids show, there's that, the Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated is the funny thing, and they've got a jingle. And if you look on YouTube for Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated, every time they do an establishing shot, they show the big tower with the Doofenshmirtz logo, and it's got they do the little jingle, Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated. They zoom into the office there, but it's so funny, cracks me up. So that, I'm excited. I think we've really, this is something that's going to have an impact, and I get very excited about stuff like that.
Me too. I look forward to our next
Thank you.
Follow up on this.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. All right, so I will. We'll put this up, and then let's let Angela know that we were talking all about her. She'll love it. This will be her favorite episode.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Giovanni. Hey, by the way, where can people find out about the Archangel Academy, or what can people who are intrigued by what's going on here? Where can they find out more?
ArchangelsSummit.com is the main sort of landing page for the event, and then ArchangelAcademy.com is the main site.
Okay, perfect. Very good. I will we'll get this up, and I'll let you know.
Thank you, Dean.
Thanks, Giovanni. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And there we have it. I am so stoked about how this idea formed and came about, and I'm already thinking about how I can wrap an event around the next year's summit in September. And this idea of the Archangel Alliance, I really love. Now, here's the thing. We're talking about this specifically for Giovanni and the Archangel situation, but there's something going on here that is a deeper sort of underpinning concept that may work for you. If we look at really what's happening here, when Giovanni's able to pull this off. He's excited about the idea. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this unfolds. But what's really happening is he's creating an event that is in support, potentially, of other people having their events. So his dream come true event is helping support other people create their own dream come true event and build a community of people that year after year in this second weekend in September, we may be able to create an incredible movement around this. And so when you start thinking about it, what are the kind of things that you do that could be so good that your, let's call them competitors, but not your colleagues would pay to be a part of what you're doing or to take the service that you're doing. Tom Peters, the wonderful management thought leader who's written several books, including In Search of Excellence. One of the things that he talks about is having divisions of your company become professional service firms that offer service so good enough to pay for. And he talks about that through all of the divisions. Imagine if instead of just having your accounting department be an in-house accounting department? What if your accounting department was independent and a professional service firm that offered a level of service that was so good that you could provide it to other people? Or if your graphic design department was so good that you could offer it to other people. There's a example of that in Disc Makers has a wonderful catalog that they put out for bands and independent musicians and independent audio producers. That's kind of their audience, but they put out this wonderful, amazing catalog, and then they spun out the design team that would put all of that together. They started offering their design services to other businesses. So that's an interesting lesson, is thinking about how can you create something that you're doing that could be a core service for other people. So that's an exciting idea, and I'll keep you posted on how this all plays out. But if you'd like to join Giovanni at next year's event, I don't think he's got the speakers selected or announced yet, but you can keep an eye on archangelsummit.com. And his main website is archangelacademy.com. So very excited for you to take a look at all of that. And as always, if you want to continue the conversation here, you can go to morecheeselesswhiskers.com and you can download a copy of the More Cheese, Less Whiskers book. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show so we can hatch some evil schemes for you, just click on the Be a Guest link and we can take it from there. So that's it for this week. Tune in next time and we'll have some amazing new evil schemes to hatch.